Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and welcome to a Sunday Reset vlog. It is, I don't know why I looked behind me. I have a watch that I can look at. It is 12:30. I have been a very busy bee this morning. Say good morning, Griffin. Or good afternoon, I suppose. He's getting ready for soccer, but it's been a busy morning. I was getting part 2 of the gardening video edited and uploaded. That took forever because it took me days to get all those flowers planted. We had a couple of days where the weather was just really terrible, and so I just couldn't finish. But it is done, and I did order more, and I just got the box in so I can plant some more of those. We're gonna get that finished up today. I'm also gonna work on the back deck. We hired somebody to come and strip it and stain it and seal it since it hadn't been done since we moved in and it was looking terrible. So we got that done. Now we can put that back together. You'll see that in a separate video. I also need to go do some returns. I got to pick up a Target order. I did order a new outdoor rug because ours is trashed. Last year I did hose it down and I'm not going to do that again this year. It like is gross and bleached, and you know, outdoor rugs take a beating. I think next year or this fall, this winter when we're done with it, I think I'll roll it up and put it down in the basement so it doesn't get destroyed. But so we're gonna go pick up that Target order. We've got to go return some Amazon items I picked up. There's Danny just coming in from mowing the lawn. How'd it go?
Good.
It's hot today. It's like 80 degrees.
It's like 85.
Oh, last I checked my thing, it said 80, but maybe the feels like is 85, which I know so many of you were like, that's really not that hot. And I agree with you. Remember, I lived in Vegas for 11 years, and you're right. No, more than that. We lived in that house for 11 years. Yeah. I know that 85 degrees is not that hot. However, in New England, it feels very, very hot. So it is warm today. I actually am wearing shorts. Like, that is not a thing for me. I showed you guys shorts in last week's Sunday Reset. I think that is not a thing for me. I do not wear shorts, but I'm wearing them today. So there we go. It's too hot. We've got soccer in a little while. I'm not going to go to Griffin's game because he's not playing. He hurt his foot, but I will go to Ryan's game. We're going to do some cleaning. We've got a lot of laundry that we need to get caught up on and just kind of overall cleaning. I have neglected my indoor plants, so I need to water them and kind of like pick off anything that looks sad, which unfortunately there's probably a lot because I've really neglected them. I just got to get back in my routines. I feel like I've been out of my routines for a while. So that's enough of an intro. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we go any further in today's video, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsor, Motivate. I have talked to you guys about Motivate tons of times before, and I'm thrilled to be sharing them again in today's video. Motivate is a women-owned supplement company to help you reach all of your health goals. I have shared with you my absolute love for Burn. This is their pre-workout. This is my favorite flavor, the cotton candy. It's absolutely incredible. And what's great about Burn is it is going to give you the jolt of energy that you need to power through a workout or even just your day without any sugar or added calories. I love to use this to replace my morning coffee if I'm looking to shed a few calories throughout my day, because this is going to give me that same mental clarity and just energy boost without all of the calories of coffee creamer. Not to mention it's full of fat burning properties and it's going to help with mental sharpness. Just take it about 30 minutes before you want to work out, or like I said, in the morning to give you that same jolt of energy like a cup of coffee. They have tons of flavors, so if you're not a cotton candy fan, don't you worry about it. They have tons of other flavors as well. They also have a sampler pack, so if you're not sure what you like, you can order that and try them out, figure out which one you like. I also really love their detox product. I have talked to you guys about this as well. This is a daily digestive support pill that you take to help keep you regular. I am on a GLP-1 medication medication. I've talked to you about that before. And I take Zepbound, and one of the side effects can be constipation. So making sure that I'm taking something to help me stay regular is really, really important. So I love Detox for that. So I will have everything linked for you down in the description box. And if you use my code Tiffany20, you're going to get 20% off your entire order. So now is the time to give these products a try. Find one that works for you. They have tons of other supplement products as well. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And again, thank you to Motivate for sponsoring today's video. Okay, my friends, we're going to go ahead and get started with cleaning now. It is later on in the evening, and Danny and I were actually getting ready to head out to meet up with some friends for some fun axe throwing and darts, but I want to get the house cleaned up. We had just finished dinner. Kids were showered and hanging out with their friends. So while I am cleaning, I had asked you guys over on Instagram last week for some Q&A questions to kind of talk through while doing these videos. I know some of you really enjoy the talking, some of you don't, and so if that's not your thing, you can definitely mute the video from this point on. But I did get a ton of questions, more than I can answer in this video alone, so we will have some, Q&A over a couple of videos. So I'm just going to kind of randomly pick some of these questions and we will get started. One of the first questions is, would you ever want to go back to Vegas and live? And the answer is no. No, I would not. Definitely enjoyed our visit back in February. It reminded me how much I loved being there, love the people there, love how much fun things there are to do, so many wonderful things to eat. I do miss that scene. I wish that I had more options for doing fun things here where we live in New England. That's definitely something I miss, but I think I just need to find those things around here and, But to answer your question, no, I definitely do not ever see myself going back to live there. Another question is about my GLP-1 medication. It says, does your insurance pay for your GLP-1 and will you stay on it for life? I don't know. I don't have an answer for that second part of the question. Yes, my insurance does pay for my GLP-1. My current insurance will be changing for us come July, or no, I think it's maybe August, when Danny starts carrying our insurance instead of me, and I'm not sure what that will look like then. But for right now, yes, insurance does cover it. I pay a $30 copay monthly. It's been wonderful, and I'm very thankful. It's been a lifesaver for me, and I will stay on it as long as I can and as long as it is working. I firmly believe in GLP-1 medications. I've been told by some commenters that I'm not a doctor and I shouldn't give medical advice, and this is not medical advice. This is just saying, for me, it has been fantastic, and I'm very thankful that this has been an option, and it has completely changed my life. Another question says, how did you grow your Instagram page? That's a really fun question. I would just say that the more you post and the more present you are and the more you put yourself out there, the more people will see you and the more you will grow. I'm blessed to have this platform here on YouTube as well, so I talk about Instagram here. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely go check it out. It's just Charlotte Grove Farmhouse, and I would just say try to post as much as possible. I was doing really good and was posting daily with Reels, and that really helped me grow my page, but right now, I'm just drowning and in everything, and so that has kind of fallen by the wayside, but come June 17th, on my last day of school, when I'm finally able to be a full-time content creator and make this, my number one priority, everything will change and we'll go back to posting regularly on Instagram. But the more you post, the more people will see you and the more your page will grow. The next question says, you get so much done during a day. What time do you relax and or go to bed and wake up? Great question. That's from Allie. Allie, I don't relax. I have no chill. If you know me in real life, then you know that my version of relaxing is like mornings sitting on the porch with my husband having coffee, or
spending time like with friends, going out. That's like my relaxing is going shopping with my friends or going to, the nursery, like the garden nursery. This again is one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to having one full-time job, because I just don't really have the time to relax right now. I wake up anywhere between 4 and 5, depending on my anxiety level. Anxiety will wake me up real early. And I go to bed sometime between 10 and 12. So I'm not getting the best sleep. I'm not going to lie. Definitely something I need to work on. But, work-life balance, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, this next question is one that I debated on whether or not I was going to answer, either here in the video or if I was going to send a private message and respond. But I did say don't hold back and nothing was off limits. And the question is, with the weight loss, how has yours and Danny's relationship changed? The hot stuff, LOL. And that is from Cheryl. Cheryl, I know exactly what you mean. And I figured, you know what, let's just talk about it for a minute, because I think that this is an important part of life and a marriage and a good, solid relationship. And I will say that my whole entire life has changed for the good. That included. It has definitely reignited a spark. Danny and I have been together for 20 years, married 19 as of May 6th, and we've been together for a long time. And from when we were very, very young, we had children very young. We had our first child at 22. No, I was 23 when she was born. And, we've been in the throes of parenting for our entire marriage. And it has been so nice just reconnecting now that our children are older. Our youngest is 9.5, and they're all very self-sufficient. And it's just been really nice reconnecting because, let's be honest, at the end of the day, your spouse is who you're left with at the end, right? Your kids are going to grow up, they're going to move out, they're going to have their own families and their own lives. And that's why it's so important that you marry somebody that you not only enjoy hanging out with, but that you enjoy spending all aspects of life with. And I'm just really, really blessed. Not to mention I've got a super hot husband. But to answer your question, Cheryl, the weight loss has definitely changed everything in my relationship, including the hot stuff. So thank you for this question. This is one of those added bonuses, I think, to just feeling your best. And, it's been very, very nice and very blissful. So thank you very much for asking. Another question regarding my husband says, do you and your husband do a budget together? If so, what's the best way that has worked? I don't even have an answer for this question. If Danny were here, he'd probably have a very different answer than I do. But right now, I would say our budget is, it's funny because working in, content creation and being somewhat of an influencer, if you will, although I really do not like that word. I do spend, a decent amount of money on things that I can share as well. That's just part of the job. And, I know a lot of people, I've gotten comments before that you don't have to buy, you don't have to share. And while I agree to an extent, there are something called taxes, and I do need to have some kind of business expenses in order to not have to pay oodles and oodles of money to the government. And so our budget right now, we're really trying to pay off our house. And so a lot of what I make from content creation is going to that. And, also just putting money aside. We're about to have a child in college, and we have more coming down the pipeline because we have 5 beautiful children. And next year, my oldest will be a freshman in college. My second oldest will be a junior in high school. I don't believe he wants to go to college. He is currently in an electrician program at school. I believe that's what he wants to continue to do, but our daughter is going into nursing school, so we will be budgeting for that as well. So to answer your question, what's the best way that has worked? Danny handles the finances. That's the best way it works. I hand over all of the reins to him. He handles all of those things and says, here's X amount of money. He'll say, this is what you need to spend for your business. You typically need to put about 30% of your profit back into your business. And so he helps me just kind of keep track of those things. And yeah, other than that, he pretty much just handles all of that. He handles our savings and, where everything is going. He handles our retirement funds and all that stuff. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for that. I wish I did. Another question that I think is a really fun one is, what is your parenting style? Again, this is fun because Danny and I are so in sync in so many ways and yet so very different in so many ways. So for me, I am like a mix of the gentle, compassionate parent and also kind of strict. I have very high expectations for my children and, high expectations of myself as their mom. And they know, that they are not allowed to be disrespectful. Like, they don't take a certain tone with us. They definitely don't speak to us in a disrespectful way. But at the same time, I also believe in explanations. If they've done something wrong, I want them to understand why it was a bad choice. And I also want to make sure that the punishment is fair. But I'm also really terrible at discipline. I feel so guilty about it. I don't know where that comes from, but I just feel really bad. And I worry about like their mental health when they're being disciplined, which is so not helpful. Like to see their little sad faces. And so Danny is such a good dad, and he does a really good job of, finding this fantastic balance of supporting them and rooting for them and teaching them, but also, being kind of the hammer when it comes to the discipline. We definitely will discuss it and, be on the same page. But when it comes to the consistent follow through, he is definitely way better in that way. Another one of the questions is, can you talk openly about leaving education? I'm a teacher too, so I get if you can't yet. No, I can absolutely talk about it. And I have been talking about it with anybody that will listen. I have absolutely loved being a public educator, a school counselor now for almost 10 years, and it has been a fantastic career. It's a second career for me. I was a massage therapist in my previous life, went to school for massage therapy, and was a massage therapist for a long time. And while being a massage therapist, I went back to school to get my degree in psychology and my master's degree in counseling. And I will tell you that I was very excited to go into education, not just because of the fantastic schedule, but I was really looking forward to helping my community in a different way. I love the helping professions as a career field, but I was excited to do it in a different way. And my husband also went to school to be a public educator at the same time, and he became a special education teacher, has his master's degree as well. And over the years, we have just watched the pendulum swing pretty far to the other side when it comes to education, and it is a very union-heavy career. And I understand why, because there are a lot of things that happen as public educators where you might feel like you need a little protection. And unfortunately, sometimes when you work in positions like that, you lose the ability to have the merit pay where you can come in and do a really good job and argue for a raise and to argue for, more money or more benefits. You kind of just have to take what you're given. I also feel like the demands on public education are just growing. What we offer the community is so much more than just teaching your children how to read and write. We are also social workers. We are asked to protect them literally with our lives sometimes. And it's just a very demanding career. And unfortunately, we just are not given the opportunity to benefit, the way that we should and the way you can in any other career, any union career where you have a salary, you know what I mean? And you have to ask for stipends for things. It just gets a little bit tricky. And I love working with kids. They're wonderful. I will tell you that kids today are not the same that they were 10 years ago. It's a harder job. It's definitely hard to compete with super entertaining things like TikTok and YouTube and, things where kids can change the channel essentially when they lose interest. We have to up our game as well, to make sure that we are meeting kids at their level and providing them with a fun and engaging and educational interaction every single day, so they're getting the most out of it. And I will miss that. I definitely will miss that. But luckily for me, I've got 5 amazing kids that I can continue to nourish and grow, and I can give more of me. I'm very much looking forward to cutting out all of the stressors related to working in education. I feel like sometimes my students and their families get the best version of me, and my kids get whatever's left. And I'm really looking forward to that being flipped because they deserve the best from me every single day. So very much looking forward to, making that shift. Okay, so another question says, how do you just get started when you're feeling unmotivated or have so much to do? This is such a good question because I feel this way literally every second of every single day. I feel like I am overflowing, with to-dos, and my brain is constantly going. I definitely have ADHD. My brain is overactive. I'm constantly, thinking of what needs to happen, what needs to come next. I always have something playing in my ear, and lately it's just been my Vibes playlist. And just trying to keep my energy level up and my positivity up because there's just so much going on. And I just feel like I constantly just have noise. And, as moms, we are typically the executive function in our home and always trying to keep everybody organized. And I would say that if my to-do list gets too big, too overwhelming, what I typically will do is I will write everything out. I'll do a brain dump. And sometimes I have somebody else help me do that, like Danny. When I worked in Vegas, my best friend Ann used to help me brain dump. I'd literally write down everything that was in my mind that needed to happen in no particular order, just dumping it all out on paper. And then I would prioritize it. And I would either do it with that other person. They would help me, prioritize, delegate. What can I give away? Otherwise, I have to do it myself. What needs to happen, the top 3 that are non-negotiables have to happen now. And then what things can I give away? What things can I delegate to someone else? And, so on from there. That is definitely a game changer. If you have a hard time with prioritizing, if you have ADHD like I do, and your executive functioning skills maybe just require a little bit more effort, writing it all down, organize your thoughts on paper, and it's just so much easier to get things done that way. Then you can check them off. And then, the psychology behind that is you also have the benefit of checking those things off and seeing your hard work in action. And it really is very motivating, and it's going to help you stay the course and get more done. And over time, your productivity will just go up. You got to find the right motivators for sure. For me, I am motivated, unfortunately, a lot by external factors. So, putting up a video and watching the views, or, just seeing other people, enjoying the things that I am producing and providing, that's very, very motivating. So you got to find the things that motivate you. And if that's little rewards, little breaks, whatever it is that's going to help you stay motivated, that's something you got to just keep in your forefront for sure. We have time now, I think, for one more question. I am just going to be finishing out this video folding tons of laundry, and it actually just continues to live on my dining room table this morning as we are still plowing through all of the laundry. We had fallen behind, but I'm really, really excited to be getting on top of that today. Danny is actually doing that as I am doing this voiceover. I can hear him flipping the laundry now. So the last question I'm going to answer in today's video is a question about, will my daughter be moving away to college? And the answer is no. Thank goodness for me. It was something we had discussed, but I'm really glad that she's actually not moving away. She's actually starting her RN at a local community college where tuition is free, and then she'll transition over to a 4-year program to finish out her bachelor's degree. But as a school counselor, I have just given her a lot of advice and advised her to be very smart with, her finances and how much college costs, and to not start her life with a ton of college debt. It's just not worth it. And if there are ways for her to earn her license and get the degree that she wants and the career that she wants without having loads of debt, then let's do that, because that is ideally the best way to do it. So that is what she's doing. And, we've talked a lot about how, and with nurses that we know, we have 3 very educated and wonderful nurses that live in our neighborhood and have also given Michaela that same advice. And so that's what we're going to do. So she's not going to be leaving us. She's going to be staying home, and it's going to be wonderful. So that's going to do it for this week's Sunday Reset, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this little Q&A, and we'll do some more in next week's Sunday Reset. Make sure you're subscribed. Hopefully you were able to get something checked off your list, or hopefully I could keep you company while you did something today. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, my friends.